Good Friday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversations Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, we made it to the end of another week here, and we're glad you all could be with us. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up today. We have the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and today, in an entertainment spotlight, you being part of my conversation with Madison Hobley. He's someone who was wrongfully convicted of a crime he did not commit, and actually spent years on death row. You being part of his conversation today. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Friday headlines. In national news, the Mississippi State Department of Health reports 2,261 new COVID-19 cases in the Magnolia State and 26 additional deaths on Thursday. There have now been 187,904 COVID-19 cases in Mississippi and 4,320 deaths, according to the stats since March. More than 16.2 million people in the country have been infected with the virus. In more national news, U.S. jobless claims rise to 885,000 amid resurgence of the virus. The number of Americans applying for unemployment benefits rose again last week to 885,000, the highest weekly total since September, as a resurgence of the coronavirus cases threatens the economy's recovery from its springtime collapse. The Labor Department on Thursday said the number of applications increased from 862,000 the previous week. It showed that 9 months after the virus paralyzed the economy, many employers are still slashing jobs as the pandemic forces more business restrictions and leads many consumers to stay home. The number of claims was much higher than the 800,000 that economists had expected. Before the coronavirus erupted in March, weekly jobless claims had typically numbered about 225,000. The far higher current pace reflects an unemployment market under stress and diminished job security for many. The total number of people who are receiving traditional state unemployment benefits fell to 5.5 million from 5.8 million. That figure is down sharply from its peak of nearly 23 million in May. It means that some jobless Americans are finding jobs and no longer receiving aid. But it also indicates that many of the unemployed have used up their state benefits, which typically expire after 6 months. In more COVID-19 news, second COVID-19 vaccine gets public review ahead of U.S. decision. A second COVID-19 vaccine moved closer to joining the U.S. fight against the pandemic on Thursday as government advisors convene for a public review of its safety and effectiveness. It's the next to last step for the vaccine developed by drug maker Moderna and the National Institutes of Health. The panel of physicians and medical researchers is expected to endorse it, followed by the Food and Drug Administration's okay within hours or days. The action would provide a boost to the largest vaccination effort in U.S. history that kicked off this week. More shipments of the first green-lighted vaccine, developed by Pfizer and BioNTech, went out on Thursday, earmarked for healthcare workers and nursing home residents around the country. The second vaccine is urgently needed as coronavirus infections, hospitalizations, and deaths continue to rise in the U.S. ahead of the holiday travel and gatherings that are expected to further fuel the pandemic. In more national news, Biden picks North Carolina environmental chief to lead EPA. President-elect Joe Biden on Thursday offered the leadership of the Environmental Protection Agency to Michael S. Regan, a North Carolina regulator who has made a name pursuing cleanups of industrial toxins and helping low-income and minority communities hit hardest by pollution. Biden's selection of Regan, who leads his state environmental agency, was confirmed by 2 people familiar with the selection process. They were not authorized at the time to discuss the matter publicly before the official announcement and spoke to the Associated Press on condition of anonymity. And finally, in entertainment news, the Associated Press Breakthrough Entertainer of the Year, Sarah Cooper, from TikTok to Netflix. The video couldn't have been simpler. A woman in her apartment lip-syncing audio of President Donald Trump as he expounded on possible coronavirus treatments. "We hit the body with a tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light," Trump said at the time. "I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost like cleaning?" Comedian Sarah Cooper lip-synced the president and demonstrating injecting herself with a cleaning spray, posting the 49-second video How to Medical on TikTok in April. A mere 4 months later, Cooper was filming her own hour-long Netflix special alongside anyone's dream guest stars Helen Mirren, Ben Stiller, Winona Ryder, and more. 6 months ago, I was in my living room making a TikTok Cooper recently told the Associated Press, which is naming her one of its breakthrough entertainers of 2020. And then I'm on a golf course with, like a dolly shot in the crew, and I'm lip-syncing the same guy that I've been lip-syncing, but I'm doing it in a whole different scale. And so at that moment, I had that moment of like, wow, this happened fast, like breakneck speed. There have been so many pinch me moments since Cooper's first TikTok that she's lost track. But she'll never forget the feeling of having made it when she saw Jerry Seinfeld talking about why her videos were funny in an interview. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. Consciously infuse your life with positive thoughts. To create a successful outcome, you must infuse your work and your life with positive thoughts and energy. Every positive thought combined with action adds to the formation of the most positive outcome for you. Consciously focus on your thoughts, the words you speak, and most importantly, the words you write. In the Holy Bible, it states how powerful your thoughts are, and even more powerful are the words you choose. Yet the most powerful words are those thoughts you choose to write down. Now you know ways to create powerful energy toward achieving your goals and dreams of success. Today, infuse every task you do with powerful, positive energy. And as always, enjoy your day.
As I mentioned, Madison Hobley is our feature in today's Entertainment Spotlight, right here on Conversations Daily News. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with the Entertainment Spotlight. Madison Hobley is someone who was wrongfully convicted and then sentenced to death row, where he served for over 16 years. In an exclusive interview on Conversations Live, the radio show, he talked with me about the journey and life moving forward. Here's a bit of our powerful conversation. So, Madison, I want to talk about this journey for you. What has it been like for you now as you kind of reflect on what you've been through and now where you are?
I'll tell you, when the nightmare began 33 years ago, we're talking about the 1st January 1987, where I lost my wife, and my wife was my high school sweetheart, and after 4 years of marriage, we decided to have a son, and he was 15 months old when the apartment building in which we lived in was set on fire. I want to say by the grace of God, me and God, we talked about this. As you see, it still hurts me, even 32 years ago.
Right.
I talked about God when I was falsely accused of setting the fire in which my wife and my 15-month-old son, we lived in the apartment building. And why God allowed me to survive, he explained it to me over and over again. But I was falsely accused and wrongly convicted and sent to Illinois death row with a total of 16 years. And the whole time I was there, never been in prison before, never been to jail. And the whole time I was there, God was with me. He really was. God was with me. He was my strength.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News. We'll be back with you guys on Monday with more news, Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and of course our Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's make it a great one.